Have you ever finished watching a movie and wanted to talk about it, but just couldn't find the right words in English? By the end of today's episode, you'll have everything you need to discuss movies naturally and confidently. Emma, I have to ask, are you the kind of person who watches scary movies?
Absolutely not. I cover my eyes through half of it, and then I can't sleep. What about you?
I love them, actually. Thrillers, horror films. The more suspense, the better. And today we're going to talk about how to discuss movies in English, with a special focus on those kinds of films.
Okay, so let's start from the beginning. When someone asks, what kind of movie is it? What's the right word to use?
The word you need is genre. A genre is simply the category or type of movie. So action, comedy, romance, those are all genres.
And thriller is a genre too?
Exactly. A thriller is a movie designed to make you feel tense and nervous, like something dangerous or unexpected could happen at any second. And then there's horror, which is specifically meant to frighten you.
What's the difference between a thriller and a horror movie? I always mix those up.
Great question. A thriller keeps you on the edge of your seat. You feel suspense, anxiety, uncertainty. Horror goes further. It's designed to genuinely scare you, often with disturbing images or situations.
So, a movie about a detective chasing a serial killer, that's a thriller?
Most likely, yes. But if that killer turns out to be supernatural, a ghost, a monster, something unexplainable, it starts crossing into horror territory.
Okay, that's the point where I would stop watching.
Fair enough. Now, every movie, whatever the genre, has a plot. The plot is what happens in the story, the sequence of events from beginning to end.
And thrillers usually have very complicated plots, right? Lots of twists and turns.
That's exactly where we get the term plot twist. A plot twist is an unexpected change in the story, something that completely surprises you.
Like when you've trusted a character the whole film, and then suddenly, they were behind everything?
The classic thriller plot twist. And those moments are what make people want to talk about a movie immediately after watching it.
I have to admit, even though I don't like scary movies, I do love a good plot twist. It makes you feel like, wait, I need to go back and re-watch the whole thing.
That's the sign of a really well-constructed story. Now let's talk about the people making these films. The full group of actors in a movie is called the cast.
And is the director the person who decides how everything looks and feels?
Exactly. The director is the creative leader. They make decisions about how scenes are filmed, how actors perform, the overall mood of the film. In thrillers and horror, the director's choices are everything.
How so?
Think about it. A horror movie lives and dies by its atmosphere. Atmosphere means the general feeling or mood that the movie creates. A skilled director builds atmosphere slowly through dark lighting, unsettling music, long silences.
That's so true. Sometimes the scariest moments aren't when something jumps out at you. It's the quiet before it happens.
Exactly. That quiet tension is called suspense. Suspense is the feeling of anxious excitement and uncertainty. You know something is coming, but you don't know when.
Suspense might actually be scarier than the scare itself.
Many horror directors would agree with you. Alfred Hitchcock, one of the most famous thriller directors of all time, believed that what you don't see is always more frightening than what you do.
That's such an interesting idea. Your imagination fills in the worst possible thing.
Precisely. Now here's a phrasal verb that comes up constantly when people talk about scary movies. Freak out. To freak out means to suddenly feel very scared, panicked, or overwhelmed. You completely lose your calm.
That is me during every horror movie. The music gets tense, I see something move in the background, and I completely freak out.
And the second phrasal verb I want you to remember, stay on the edge of your seat. To be on the edge of your seat means you're so gripped by tension or excitement that you can barely sit still.
Wait, Isn't gripped a word we should talk about too?
Good catch. Gripping is a great adjective for movies. If a film is gripping, it means it's so exciting or compelling that you can't look away. You're completely pulled in.
So a gripping thriller keeps you on the edge of your seat the whole time.
Perfectly connected. And the opposite might be a film that's predictable. If a movie is predictable, you can guess everything that happens before it does. No surprises, no real tension.
Predictable horror movies are actually kind of funny. You see the character walk toward the dark basement alone and you're thinking, "Don't go in there, don't go in there." And they always go in.
Every single time. And honestly, when a movie is too predictable, people say it was disappointing, meaning it didn't meet their expectations.
So predictable and disappointing often go together.
Quite often, yes. Though, and this is interesting, some people find predictable movies comforting. You know what you're going to get. There's safety in that.
Just maybe not in the horror genre, where the whole point is to feel unsafe.
Exactly right. Now, here's an idiom I love for this topic. When a movie really gets under your skin, meaning it disturbs you or affects you deeply, and you can't stop thinking about it, we say it hit close to home.
Hit close to home. So it's when the story connects to something real or personal in your own life.
Exactly. A horror movie about losing someone you love, or a thriller about betrayal from someone you trust. If that touches something personal, it hits close to home.
I watched a thriller once about a family secret that gets uncovered, and it hit close to home in a way I really wasn't prepared for.
That's the power of good storytelling. The genre might be fiction, but the emotions are completely real.
Okay, let's talk about how to describe a movie after watching it. Because I think a lot of learners get stuck at, "It was scary," or "It was good."
Right, and there are so many richer options. If a horror movie genuinely scared you, you might say it was chilling. Chilling means something that gives you a cold, unsettling feeling of fear.
Ooh, that's a great word. The ending was absolutely chilling.
You could also say it was haunting. Haunting means it stays with you long after it's over, like it follows you around in your mind.
A haunting film. I like that. It sounds almost poetic for something so scary.
Some of the best horror films are genuinely haunting. You turn off the television and the images just stay with you.
And what if it wasn't scary at all? What if it was just kind of bad?
Then it might have been over the top, meaning it was exaggerated, unrealistic, trying too hard to shock you. When horror goes over the top, it often stops being scary and starts being almost funny.
I've definitely seen horror movies like that. So many jump scares, so much fake blood. It just becomes ridiculous.
Jump scares are actually a big topic in horror. A jump scare is when something suddenly appears on screen with a loud noise to frighten you. It's the cheapest trick in horror.
Cheapest trick? You mean it's not very clever?
Right. True horror fans often say that relying on jump scares is lazy filmmaking. The real masters of horror build dread. Dread is a slow, heavy feeling of fear about something you know is coming but can't stop.
Dread feels much more psychological than a jump scare.
Exactly. And psychological is a great word for a whole subgenre. Psychological thrillers, where the real horror is inside the character's mind, not a monster or a killer.
Oh, I can handle those a little better, actually. The ones where you're questioning what's real and what isn't.
Those play with your perception, what you believe is happening versus what is actually happening. And often the ending is ambiguous. Ambiguous means it's unclear, open to different interpretations.
I both love and hate ambiguous endings. I love that they make me think, but sometimes I just want a clear answer.
That frustration is completely intentional. The director wants you talking about the movie for days.
It works every time. All right, let's do a quick recap of everything we've covered today before we test ourselves.
Great idea. We started with genres. thriller, and horror, and what makes them different. We covered plot and the thrill of a good plot twist.
We learned about atmosphere and suspense, the tools directors use to build fear without showing everything.
Vocabulary like gripping, chilling, haunting, predictable, and ambiguous. All words you can use right after watching a film.
Phrasal verbs: freak out when the fear gets too much, and stay on the edge of your seat when the tension keeps you completely locked in.
And the idiom hit close to home, when a movie touches something genuinely personal. All right, let's see what's stuck. Quick check.
What is the difference between a thriller and the horror movie? What does it mean if a movie is gripping? Use the phrasal verb correctly. You're watching a horror movie and something suddenly jumps out. What do? You freak out. To freak out means to suddenly feel very scared or panicked and lose your calm. What does it mean when a movie hits close to home? If an ending is ambiguous, what does that mean?
Nicely done. Let's bring it all together. Whether you love thrillers, enjoy a good horror film, or cover your eyes like Emma.
I cover my eyes every time, and I'm not ashamed.
You now have the vocabulary to talk about these films confidently in English. Genre, atmosphere, suspense, gripping, chilling, haunting, ambiguous. These are the words that take you from "it was scary" to sounding like a real film critic.
And don't forget to freak out appropriately, stay on the edge of your seat, and notice when a story hits close to home.
If you enjoyed today's episode, please subscribe. We'd love to have you back for the next one.
We're so glad you watched with us today. This is Emma.
And I'm Ethan. Keep watching great films, keep practicing your English, and we'll see you next time.
Bye for now.